Zurich. Welcome to Train Talk TV, the podcast about all things railroad. Today, follow us aboard the Rocky Mountaineer's Whistler Sea-to-Sky Climb, a real-life runaway train, a farmer ships his grain on his very own railroad, an overnight train goes to the wrong city, and see how Calgary is building the newest leg of its LRT system. Okay, this story is full of ironies. See if you can pick them all out. In a scene straight from a Hollywood movie, a London Underground maintenance train had broken down and was being towed in for service. It broke away from the train that was towing it and rolled downhill for 13 minutes, brakeless and out of control. Thankfully, alert line operators were able to divert all other trains, which were full of passengers, out of the way. The Runaway reached speeds of 35 kilometers an hour before disappointing all the Hollywood producers by unceremoniously rolling to a stop. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but trains were disrupted for the rest of the day. Could have ended a lot worse. Oregon farmer Larry Vanell is shipping grain by rail again, but this time as manager of his own railroad. After the Portland and Western Railroad closed the line to his area, Larry began his 3-year effort to purchase the line and get it back into service. Working with the Albany and Eastern Shortline Railroad, Vanell Farms is now shipping its own grain and some of its neighbors on the Vanell Farm Railroad Company. Most people would have just given up, but Larry went against the grain and got things rolling again. Tourists on an overnight sleeper train from Spain to Milan, Italy woke up instead with a view of Zurich, Switzerland. The train departed Barcelona normally, with one section headed for Milan and the other one headed for Zurich. However, switchers in Lyon, France accidentally hooked up the sections to the wrong engines and sent each train to the other destination. The train headed for Milan was able to be turned around and redirected to Zurich when it reached the Italian border, but the other train made it all the way to Zurich. Spanish company Renef and French SNCF, which jointly operate the popular overnight train, have apologized and offered a full refund for their error. Calgary's skyline is being permanently altered by the building of the west leg of its light rail transit system. A bright yellow launching truss previously used on Seattle's Sound Transit and Vancouver's SkyTrain expansion is lifting the concrete sections into place for the 2 kilometers of elevated track. Soaring as high as 20 meters above the ground, the LRT leg is an impressive sight to see being built, and I can't wait to ride it in a couple of years. A few weeks ago, I mentioned we were headed to Vancouver to ride the Rocky Mountaineer's Whistler Sea-to-Sky Climb with my brother and my mother. As it turns out, my mom decided she couldn't make the trip, so my son came along. The trip starts in North Vancouver and winds along the shores of Howe Sound up to Squamish, BC. From there, the train climbs over 2,000 feet to get to Whistler. This is a great trip. Our in-car attendant Jason was full of good stories about the area, and he and Chris, the train manager's personal attention, made the great trip even more memorable. The train slows for scenic spots along the way for photo buffs, and the viewing is great from the windows, vestibules, and the viewing car. I didn't spend too much time sitting, as like most train buffs, I could be found in the vestibule, hanging my head out the window, facing the wind, holding a camera. I'm on board the Rocky Mountaineer, Whistler Sea-to-Sky, and just got on the way down from Whistler. Got some great footage to share with you guys. This is a good train ride. As it turns out, the trip would have actually been okay for my mom, who was a bit concerned about an all-day adventure. But no fear, unprompted, my son piped up that he'd make her a special scrapbook of the journey. Now that is a great idea. So let the scrapbookers in your life know we'll have the making of a train trip scrapbook in an upcoming episode of Train Talk TV. If you just want to see more video of the trip, watch for a 10-minute video of our Rocky Mountaineer Sea-to-Sky climb in the special section on traintalk.tv. Please comment on the show and share your own railroad news to us at info@traintalktv. You can also follow @TrainTalkTV on Twitter and be the first to get regular news beats and news on our upcoming contest, which we'll offer in the next couple of weeks. This episode is sponsored by Cribscapes collectible cribbage boards, unique 3D railroad cribbage boards for the railroader in your life. Available at www.cribscapes.com. Thanks for watching.